If you're in the Stanley Black & Decker Craftsman V20 line and you're looking at a ratchet, there are some things to know about this before you buy it. We're going to go through this top to bottom. Stay tuned. All of the 20-volt ratchets kind of have a weird design to me. You have a battery that's in the back that's going to be in here in a slender fashion, so you can kind of get this into tight places, but you really can't because of the battery. And then you have an awkward place for your controls because your trigger here is going to be up near the battery, so you can kind of use it backwards. It's different. But in this case, we have a very, very small head that's on top of this, and I will say they got it right when they put in the forward and reverse, although if you're in a tight place, that's a little bit large, but for what I'm using this for, it's perfect. 35 foot-pounds maximum on this, 300 RPMs, no load speed. You have to have the right use for this guy, and the right use is going to be working with plastics and aluminum. You don't want something that's going to over tighten things, and you don't want to put too much stress on this head removing things, because you can physically use it to help remove items, but you don't really want to go much more than 60 foot-pounds on this because this is such a small diameter head. Now, I was using this on my side-by-side to adjust the clutch, get it shimmed to the right place so that it wouldn't spin the secondary and make it really hard to shift. And this is absolutely perfect for when you're removing the little tiny bolts that are there, and it's quick enough at 300 RPM. It's not overly powerful, so it's still able to pull these out, and you're able to put them back in without over torquing them. Having this as light duty as it is works out perfect for something like that, where you know that you don't want to go over 35 foot-pounds and you really want to feather it in. You can get in trouble with some of the Milwaukee or even the DeWalt one that's out there if you have something that does 70 foot-pounds, because you can just have this trigger going and not really get a feel for what's happening with that bolt. So in the case of using this with light-duty fasteners, it works absolutely awesome. If I was going to buy this to take apart an engine or work on larger items, alternators, things like that, this is a big no. This is going to be light duty, interior use, plastic work, light duty clutch stuff, you know, where you don't want to put a lot of pressure on anything, and just working around things. It's awesome for that. It does not really get into tight places, even with this small head. I mean, you can get in there, but it still is a weird design, not actually gonna kind of happen. And it doesn't happen with most 20 volts anyway. Interestingly enough, with this, Torque Channel went over this. They did some testing. They did break the head on this at 125 foot-pounds. I'm going to leave a link in the description to what they did with all the different ratchets. And this one came out, it didn't come out on the bottom end of their scale. It did come out on the bottom end of their scale for breaking the head early, and you can see why it's so small. And it did also come out on the bottom of the scale for foot-pounds. By no means am I switching my shop over to use just this Craftsman, but I will tell you, if I'm working on the side-by-side with little tiny stuff and I'm putting it back together, or I'm assembling something else that's small, this is what will come out because it is the right tool for the right job, and I can hand it off to anyone else I want to who might be working with me, and chances are we won't have an over torque situation or us breaking bolts because it doesn't have that much power. So it works out for that. Unfortunately, it doesn't compare to the DeWalt line, it doesn't compare to the Milwaukee line. There's a lot of different things that we can say, hey, that's just a less expensive DeWalt in the Craftsman line and it works. This is not one of them. So if you're going to pick it up, know its limitations, make sure its limitations work for you, and if they do and they fit, like it is for me, it's an absolute wonderful tool. I would suggest you keep this top lubricated a little bit. After using it for a while, it will heat up, especially when new. Put a little bit of lubrication up there, helps it a ton. As always, thank you for watching the video. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you for your time. Have a great day.